What's going on? You are listening to and watching today Talk About Gay Sex. I'm your host, Steve Rodriguez. We are here at Advocacy, as always, not always, but I'm here with Carpenter, Steve Carpenter.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. Sidekick. We had a fun, our Christmas came early for us this year.
Oh yeah, your party was really fun.
Yeah, I do this Christmas party, keeps getting bigger and bigger. Maybe I'll open it up at some point.
And better too. This year was just, last year was a lot of fun, but this year was just even better. It worked really well.
Exactly, and it's a leather Christmas party, so you can imagine how naughty we get. We put emphasis on the naughty.
A little bit,
Who's
yes.
been naughty?
Yes, I still have a bag of floggers I got to take home. So
hey, yeah. So we put a few pictures on our Instagram there. But I want to get into today's episode because they are here. We are here with the Adonis Lounge, and to our left over here is Tim. Tim, I don't even know your last name, but does it matter?
I mean, it doesn't matter that much. Everyone just calls me Tim Adonis.
Tim Adonis.
Yeah,
I like that.
My last name is actually De Turiaga, Spanish.
Spanish.
Yeah, people always think I'm some big white boy. But
yeah, that's awesome.
My father's a little Spaniard.
Nice.
That doesn't know what I do.
He does it?
No, he has no idea.
Okay, we're going to get into that.
Yeah.
Next to you is one of your dancers who dances for you.
Yeah, this is Ethan. Some people call him Easy Ethan because he's easy on the eyes.
He is. That's a good. I like that tagline. How are you?
Are you sure that's how we got the name?
That's what they say.
Okay.
Cool. You were telling us offline, Ethan, that you're in school right now.
I am in school, yes.
Cool. And I'm assuming we'll get more into working to probably pay for school, I'm sure.
That would be correct.
Yeah. Okay. We'll get all into it. But you, Tim, have celebrated 7 years of the Adonis Lounge, correct?
More than that. Actually, this is the start of our 9th year in New York City.
Oh, wow.
So we celebrated the 8-year anniversary in October.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of surreal, actually, to be honest, and kind of take a step back.
That's really hard to do in New York, especially. New York is not an easy market for anything.
Yeah.
Even sex.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's, I've seen many parties come and go over that time.
Right.
Clubs shut down, bars shut down. The city's changed a lot since I've been working in this, in this world.
Yeah, it's changed drastically.
Sure.
Exactly. Carpenter, what mic are you on? I just want to turn yours up a little bit.
What am I on? I think I'm on. Is it 3? Okay.
Okay, we are good. So many technicalities with this live streaming stuff. But, so you started in Brooklyn, right?
We did. We started in Greenpoint, Brooklyn.
Wow.
Catholic Polish Brooklyn.
Yeah,
we literally had to, black out the windows, and people didn't know. It wasn't even a gay bar that we started in, but I convinced this straight place to let me take one night per week, and we did a small little event, and it was small. I would have... A successful night would be 20 customers and maybe 5 or 6 dancers. And of those 20 customers, they were basically just like my customers that were loyal to me. So it was very small.
And for people that aren't familiar with the Adonis Lounge, it's you come into various locations with strippers, dancers. They do a performance in a lot of the night, and then there's lap dances in the back that people can do, and then sometimes champagne rooms. Is that kind of...
Sure. The performance part is questionable.
Is that big quotes on that?
Yeah. If you're kind of looking for a performance, you're probably going to be disappointed.
Yeah. Stick to Broadway.
Yeah.
Both Broadway.
Essentially, it's a mock gay male strip club, and that's the best way.
And
so you come to Ogle.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I always tell people if you've ever been to a straight club for some reason where women dance for men, it's the exact same format that you would see there.
Okay.
We've just transformed it, so the dancers are male and our customers are male.
You know what's great is that we did a show on wild sex tales where you could go back in the 70s, 80s, and there were so many spots. There was a place actually called Adonis, right?
There was the Adonis Theater. Yeah,
I've seen the picture. I've actually seen the picture. Yeah.
And then that sort of died down, obviously, with a lot of Giuliani's rules, and it just fizzled out. And what I love about what you brought is sort of a little bit of that old school mentality of just good old fun when you go out, the strippers, but in a pop-up kind of format, right?
Yeah, I would say it's, we sell classy trash. I mean, that's what
classy
it is.
Trash.
We try to present it in the classiest packaging we can, but at the end of the day, it's just good old New York fun, kind of that throwback.
And it's you and your brother, right?
Yeah.
Runs sort of the LA. You have well, tell what cities you're in.
Sure. So currently we operate in Manhattan. We're in Manhattan, New York City. Then also Los Angeles and Palm Springs.
Got it. Cool.
So we're in 3 cities. I was in Vegas for about a year as well. But
Vegas is hard.
Vegas is a very hard city. People don't realize it's very conservative. I'd say almost. Yeah. I'd say it almost borders on anti-gay, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I would agree with you at times. Yeah, and then nothing seems to last. There's been promoters that have gone in there and done like parties, and then the next time you look it up, it's gone.
Yeah, the hardest thing with each city is that every city, every jurisdiction, even every just smaller area, they all have separate different laws and regulations. So anytime you go somewhere, it's not uniform. You have to kind of do your due diligence and see what the actual laws are for each particular city. And Vegas is a nightmare. They want all kinds of permits and licensing and all the rest of it. So the notion that anything goes in Vegas is far from the truth.
Well, I was going to get more into that later, but we should just talk. I mean, speaking of that and all the rules and regulations, and for something that you're embarking on or been doing, has got to be challenging here in the city. I know you've done a naked night too, right?
Yeah,
that's been a little rocky at times getting started.
Yeah. What is the naked night? Explain what that is.
Okay, so during the weekly events that we do, and I've got events every night, and we do operate in different locations. And over the last 9 years, I've probably been in a dozen different locations, literally. You know, sometimes by choice, sometimes not by choice. I mean, I've moved parties. I've been kicked out of venues. I've showed up to venues where the doors were locked, where the owners weren't paying their rent, like anything you could imagine. So just locating, just finding locations hard enough. But so during the weekly events, the boys are in their underwear, so they'll dance on stage and they give lap dances. But nudity is not allowed. You can't have nudity and alcohol in New York City. It's the law. So whether it's gay or straight, you can't have both. Right. Which is kind of lame. To think in New York City, you'd think that anything would go, or at least be able to have it.
Some of those Puritan laws are still in the book.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I had the idea many years ago, because I danced for 10 years, and I worked all over the country, so I had the benefit of working in a bunch of different clubs. I worked in Atlanta, Florida, I worked on the West Coast, and I worked in New York, New Jersey, Philly, all that stuff. And I worked in clubs that were nude. So for example, in Atlanta, they allow nudity with liquor. So it's really not that big a deal, but you can't have that in New York. So I said, well, how can we bring naked boys to New York without getting in trouble? So many years ago, I kind of did it underground, and it was a smaller type thing. So I was serving alcohol, which you're not allowed to do, and I had the naked guys, for lap dances, all the rest of it. But that party kind of grew and kind of took on a life of its own. And before I knew it, it was really something special. Like it's kind of, people look back on it like, oh my God, like that. It was nuts. Like we had 250 customers, 50 dancers, and people were literally flying in from all over the country for it. Wow. Because nothing existed, but like all good things, it got too big. Right. And I did get in trouble. I got in trouble, for the alcohol part of it. Right. And so that party got put on hold for a couple of years, but then I figured, a lot of people were asking for it. So I said, okay, we have to play by the rules now, which we do. So now we have the naked night, but there's no alcohol. I can't serve alcohol there, but you can bring your own. So you could bring your own booze. Right. And I could serve.
But you're not selling it.
I just can't sell it there. Yeah.
Perfect. So you get around the law, but people can still have a good time.
Absolutely. Yeah. Great. So I mean, if you want to see the naked boys, you have the naked boys. You could still bring your bottle or booze or whatever else. So it's fun. It's maybe not as risque as the older parties, but it's still a good time.
Do you dance at the naked parties, Keithan?
I do dance at the naked parties. Yes.
So what's that like? Like walk us through. I mean, is it just you walking around and fully naked, and people are just mingling with you, or what goes on?
I guess it depends on your personality type as a dancer. We're all fully naked, but there are dancers who approach customers, and there's customers who approach dancers.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
I separate the dancers into the physical, and then there's the emotional dancers.
Oh, wow, okay.
So this is getting very deep.
This is the college.
He's got this all analyzed. I like this.
I'm curious.
I like it.
The physical dancers you'll find are more aggressive. They have less, they don't speak much, and when they just go up to a customer and they grab them by the hand, and some customers like that. They like that thought of like the rough unknown, but then some customers are turned off by that because they're more of on a emotional, they want to know the dancer. So like there are bigger, buffer guys usually who are the aggressive dancers, where I'm more of an emotional dancer. I usually have a long conversation with the customer beforehand.
I love that. See, I'm definitely an emotional. I go for the emotional dancers when I go to strip bars, only because I've been at, not yours, but other places here. You and I went to a place on Thursday nights here in town, and
did we?
We no sooner had we gone downstairs, and I think I glanced at a dancer, like glanced at
that was funny,
and that glance happened to he
came across the room,
grabbed my hand, and yanked me back into the back room, and I was like, whoa,
right in mid conversation.
I barely got my drink. I wasn't even looking at him yet. I didn't even decide, and it was a little too aggressive for me. Maybe to your point, people like that, and
some do. And also personally, I've tried to be the aggressive dancer. I just really can't. I myself. I know I sexually get off through a mental attraction as well.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And if the customer knows the dancer and the dancer knows the customer, you can become more intimate within dances and conversations in the champagne rooms, because you know what they're looking for and they know who you are, and you can connect deeper. And it just, if you go in there just blind, it can actually just be this blah, basically.
Right. Yeah, and I like how you broke it down into those two.
That's
different.
Interesting.
You
That's
would probably
really
agree a little bit when you used to dance. I used to dance back in the day, and I can remember the more personal interaction you had with, people that were there at the bar, the more they were going to tip you more versus just, I'm sure there's dancers, maybe not in stripper land, but go-go world, where there's kind of attitude and, they're just, are they there? Are they not there? And I just think the more personal connection you can give somebody, the bigger the tip you'll get. Right?
I would agree. I think Ethan brought up some great points, but also to the point you made about attending an event. I think, to be fair to all the events in New York City, it's kind of the nature of the business. If you walk into an event, you could have that same experience at my club or any club.
Probably,
to be honest with you, there's, if you get 20, 30, 40 guys, which sometimes you have that, you're going to have, some of the people are just more aggressive, or that's just kind of their game or whatever else, and it's hard to police that. And I don't know that you would want to, because some people, like you said,
there are some people that definitely enjoy
that they do enjoy, but it is a fine line, between getting.
Do you give any, with the new dancer, when you bring them on board, do you give them any tips, or or just do your thing? And is it more basic?
Ethan shaking his head.
He's shaking his head over there.
No. Okay, so maybe. I think I
don't kill anyone in the back room.
I'd like to think I'm pretty easygoing, easy to work for.
Tim is very easy to go to work with. He's very kind. When it came to tips, no, but if I needed anything, he was there for me. So it's less of he's not very forward with the advice. You have to ask for the advice.
Okay, got it.
I kind of like each guy to feel things out, and I don't want to tell people how they should act or whatever, because it's especially for the first time a guy comes to the club, it can be an overwhelming experience. I kind of want them to take it all in, and
it lets them develop their own not personality, but their own method, exactly. Which is what would make it very special, because if everyone has the same pattern, then it's not going to
work.
What works for Ethan, that may not work for another guy. So
I found there's
give universal advice.
A lot of fetishes. I've actually discovered a lot of different types of fetishes and personalities just by working with Tim.
That's interesting.
Fetishes that you never knew about before.
Ones that I've never known about
personally.
Yeah. So, there's a lot that I knew existed, but just never interacted with. So, I've met people who are into humiliation. I've met people who are into just the rough dominant. I've met people who didn't want to have sex at all. Their personal, intimacy was conversation.
Right.
And it was even, I had known a gentleman for a couple months, and he still wouldn't go into the back room with me. I'd ask him, and he said no, he just wanted to have conversation. But yet he'd still tip me the same amount as if we were going back into lap dance.
Well, now, and obviously there's only so much you can do in one of the lap dance rooms. So
There is.
So do you find that sometimes a lot of these clients like want to take it off premises for like privates and so forth, or is that?
I've actually found there's a couple, but the clientele that I usually interact with and come back for me or text me or like are a part of me, they don't, because I've developed this like I've developed a certain clientele that doesn't want that.
Right. They respect you.
Yeah, they have they actually are a lot more respectful than I could ever imagine. They like the like they take me to dinner. They like the talks. They like the more developed
companionship. I could relate to that.
I feel like everyone's looking for a different experience. And
right.
Yeah.
Ethan's a cut above the rest. I have to say that. He really is. He's a great looking guy. He's polite. He's kind. He's articulate. So he is. He's going to attract a different type of person that's after a different type of experience. But
don't get me wrong, though. I'm definitely a fan of those big, buff, aggressive boys. That's part of the benefits of the job is I get to like
be around
them. Yeah. I ogle and stare a couple times.
Well, that was another question.
Why wouldn't you?
Right.
You're human. Of course.
I was going to ask. Do you find that all you dancers, like on any given night, how many dancers are?
It could be anywhere from 15 to literally over 40 sometimes.
Okay,
really,
so there's a lot of you guys. I mean, do you guys talk? I mean, obviously we're changing. Are people?
Lots of circle jerks.
Lots of circle jerks?
Yeah, it just happens.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Lots of massages, back
Really?
No, not
Oh,
really.
okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody thinks that's everyone's fantasies, right?
It would be,
everyone's
Just
thinks.
hook up and jerk each other
Well,
off.
with that amount of dancers,
He's getting all.
I'm always about the backstage.
He's ready to unretire.
I love
Yes,
backstage.
exactly.
Right?
I do see a couple backstage things between a couple dancers, but it's not like the whole company of dancers.
Sure. And I know a couple friends that dance that, now with your phone, obviously you can get porn on there, and if you're trying to fluff up, you can do your own little fluff up experience moment, and I'm sure that's going on as well.
And I personally,
Ethan just looks at me.
And then he's good to go.
Yeah, it's
since
automatic. Yeah.
I met Tim, and I had a huge crush on Tim the first time I met him.
Well, I mean,
It's the
he's
smile,
big, and
honestly.
But then he got to know me, and that was it.
Then it was, it became the boss.
But no,
The mean boss.
The mean boss.
The mean boss.
I'll say hello, and I'll have a small conversation with dancers, but I really don't get into like deep conversations with them.
Right.
It's kind of just like I'm here to do something, and I'm not here. That thing isn't to talk to you.
Yeah, and the last thing you want to talk about is politics, right? And you're in the world, and everyone should make money.
If I'm there to talk about politics and stuff like that, it's with a customer.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Yeah. Well, personally, the reason I started dancing was sort of a fetish of my own. I have like an objectification fetish.
Oh, so
Okay.
Like, what's that called? That or
Meaning that he likes to be the object.
or
Yeah.
He likes to be the object of
affection.
Desire. Yes.
Isn't that an exhibitionist?
Yes and no.
I also like exhibitions, so I guess it kind of like...
they're a little bit
There's
different.
two sides of the same coin. But
Yeah,
I think
well, one you want to be adorned,
Sure.
sort of, and
for a dancer,
like
it's
it
a
all.
great quality to have.
It is.
I mean, if you're
It
trying to be a
certainly is.
doctor or a lawyer, it's probably not the best thing you want.
no.
For a dancer, sure.
It's actually quite interesting because I went in with the exhibition fetish to like be like, I like the thought of like almost like just people like not like using my body in a sense that I've worked on, but it actually turned into they don't even like, my mind is more like they like to talk to me. I find that so interesting that like
Yeah.
yes, my body is there and some of them do like it, but a lot of the like customers who I make good connections with are mostly after like,
and again, I can
conversation.
relate to that again because I think sometimes when I go into places like this, I'm assuming everyone wants all these dancers. So if I'm going to choose somebody to go into the back room, whatever, or for a lap dance, I want to know that I'm somewhat special and not just a number. Like, number 26. So I want to connect a little bit with whoever I go back. And
as long as you know that I don't remember names.
And names don't matter to me.
I don't remember.
I remember your face.
Yeah.
If you come in next time to ask me what your name is, you're about to be disappointed.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about
the same
that
way.
initial time. You know,
that's exactly right. I mean, everyone's there for a different experience.
Yeah.
So I think the more seasoned dancers or the more emotionally intelligent, they're able to cue in on that. So you might want that experience to feel special for a second.
Right.
So I'm going to talk to you, have a good conversation, put my arm around you, and the next guy might want the exact opposite. He just might want me to grab him by the neck, you know, and tell him he's a piece of shit and to get in the back room.
Ooh,
so, you know, the good guys, you can pick up on that, and you know, because if you
is that turning you on, Ethan, over there?
I've actually dealt with that.
Oh, wow.
There was a customer who asked me to like throw him around.
Wow.
And I tried, but I just
couldn't go there.
I couldn't go as deep in, like, I couldn't go into as deep as the foreplay as he wanted.
Right. To really own it. It was just not your personality.
Yeah, it just wasn't like, I couldn't, well, he was the humiliation one. He wanted some things that I just couldn't offer. And so, I actually recommended a different dancer.
That one's a hard one. The
humiliation, it bothers me a little bit.
It bothers me too, and you have to, people that do it, like I know, like you have to own it, right? Like, you know, and that, I can't do that either.
I used to get a lot of those. I feel like
I think it's cool. Like if you're into it and someone else is into it, like I'm not against it. I just personally I can't.
There's other people.
Like I feel like I'm like hurt. Like I don't know.
You're not going to live up to what
I want them to fully enjoy their experience, and I just know that I can't give it to them.
Right.
That's fair. Yeah.
But that's really good too, because you can tell them that's not in my persona, but I know somebody who can give you what you want.
Exactly.
So
he's a team player, which is good. It's good.
Oh, but that's good.
He's you know, if you come there and he can't provide that, he'll pass it on to somebody else.
He's a team player.
Yeah.
I like that.
But you find that there are different archetypes, and people are looking for certain things.
Right.
So like I used to get customers like that a lot when I was dancing. You know, I'm 6'2", 220 pounds, so people see me and they think just this big, aggressive guy. So, so I always got people that were into that. So that's something
blushing.
Naturally.
Yeah, I know, right?
He's blushing. He talks about his boss and he blushes.
We're videoing. I didn't get the full effect. There's got to be some horror story customers that you've had personally, Ethan, that, you know, something just either they were drunk or were out of line or... And at the same, and I say
the thing is I'm not fully enveloped in just being like on a hustle. So if a customer gets a little too like into the horror storyline, I'm usually good at being like, oh, sorry, you lose, and just like walking away.
Yeah. That's great.
One time he caught me off guard. He struck me.
Oh wow, that's pretty.
Yeah. Like he slapped me very hard across the face and caught me off guard.
You know, and I'm assuming he did or did not say his fetish was, and not that was right.
Because it was one of the ones that walked up to me and said, "Hey, do you want to go in the back room?" And, okay. Like I didn't have time to talk to him. That's what he wanted, so that's what I did. And I just got back there and I was like doing the lap dance, and all of a sudden he was like, "Yeah, you enjoying that?" And I was obviously going to play along, so I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'm enjoying this," but I said it more intimately. And then he just like struck me, and so my automatic response was I grabbed him by the throat, which he enjoyed, but I didn't that wasn't what I meant to do. Mine was to stop him, and so then he grabbed me by the hair. Oh, okay. And so then it just like came to this thing where I just like had to push him off me and be like, yeah, okay, we're done. 5 minutes is up. And he's like, oh, that quickly? And I was like, yeah, like time flies by. Yeah. So he was very intoxicated, obviously, since he couldn't tell that it was 1 minute.
He should have been 86 immediately, but security though.
No, it wasn't. That actually wasn't with Tim.
Okay, got it. Yeah. This wouldn't happen on Tim.
No, it wasn't on Tim's watch.
That was a horror story from a different club.
But let me listen again. To be fair to everybody, it's part of the world. I mean,
yes,
no matter. You know, when you get 100, 200 drunk people, you're gonna have people that act unruly. And
Tim's customers, like anyone who shows up to these parties that Tim are involved in, have always been respectful to me. And like if I say no, they're turned off, which is nice.
Right.
So they're like, wow.
It's mostly a good group of guys. I mean, you have to understand it's an expensive habit to have, right?
It is.
So my clientele, they tend to be over 30, educated, you know, and working. Where, you know, if they could come there and spend $200, $300, $400, $500, you know, they're educated people and they just want to get off and have a good time. So,
yeah, it's when you go to the clubs, they're like, they just got drunk at a bar and they have $20 in their pocket. You have to be more careful and more.
And you get that, but again, you know, there's something for everyone. There are events for everyone. Some people like that, and you know, the dancers that I won't hire may go work for those parties, and it's just you know, it's very self-regulating. The entire business is self-regulating.
Yeah, you were talking briefly about like when someone comes back there. It's pretty much when you go back for a song, right? That's the length of a song is considered the lap. Because
the sign says 5 minutes, so I usually what I do is I do a song and then I go a little bit into the next song. Oh, but that's just like my own code. Like
he's like the most ideal dancer.
This is ever. Great. He's making me look like a champion.
No, and I say this because I've gone back and I think
they'll do it like this. You could go halfway in a song, and I've seen dancers walk out when the song ends. It's like you were in there for like a minute.
Yeah, 30. I mean, I'm like, but see, what I think they don't realize for us savvy clients or customers is that, you know, I would gladly probably do 2, 3, 4 songs if I didn't feel like I was being, you know, gypped too shortly. So they're actually losing money, is my theory, if they would just do the song.
Right.
And that's why I like to build the emotional relationship so I can talk to the customer, understand them more, and just like that way when I go in there, it's not like I just want to end it as soon as possible. Like I'm enjoying it myself.
Yeah,
You're absolutely right, though. I mean, that's the point. But a lot of these guys, they're short-sighted, and I always say all the stereotypes about strippers are true. You know, and there's a whole bunch more you've never heard of.
I'm sure.
This is speaking as a guy who danced, and then you know now and I've probably had close to 1,000 guys work for me in the last 9 or 10 years. So you know the guys that have longevity and stick around, they're the ones that understand what Ethan's talking about. Is that you know, you want to develop a relationship, you know, with your customers and clients, and you may not love all of them. Some could be, you know, a little obnoxious sometimes, but at the end of the day, if you're just honesty is always the best policy. If you're honest and you give someone a good experience, they're going to come back. Exactly. You can hustle somebody, but they're never going to dance with you again. Right. So what's the point?
You're like Heidi Klum. I mean, she went from model to Nancy's whole empire, and you're carrying your legacy on. Like, just
you said Heidi Klum, not Heidi Fleiss.
No. Yeah, I could have gone there. Yeah, good point.
I think Ethan doesn't know who Heidi Fleiss is.
I don't.
It's scary, right?
Yeah.
I think Tim's right though. Honesty is honestly like a big part of the world that we both live in. It takes out so much drama if you're just honest.
It really
does. Then you deal with this like digging a lie. But if you're honest, then you find the customers you don't want to deal with, and you find the customers you do, and you create this like you actually create a positive work environment where like there's a stereotype of like the low grade stripper. But like I don't feel like I'm that because I feel like I have this positive like I enjoy being a stripper. I think it's fun. And like I enjoy myself because I don't beat around the bush. I have my customers who I also like back,
right?
Like as people. So
and you guys look forward to seeing each other. And I call it owning it. Like when you, the more honest you are, when you just own who you are, it's like
and that works in multiple ways in your life.
It does.
So Ethan, you were talking earlier that you're in college and all of your friends in college know what you do for a living.
Yes.
And you said they ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
So what's that like? I mean, obviously being out with who you are and what you do
I think it's,
in a college environment is
I think it's
very
important.
forward. But yeah.
College is a time where you find that a lot of people find themselves. I like to say that I found myself a little before college. Which was nice for me. So when I went to college, like you saw the other kids like crying about not being home or missing their family and stuff like that, and I was like, I'm ready for this.
Yeah, I'm ahead of the game.
Yeah. So no, when I went, there's so many questions they have to ask. Well, they don't have to. They want to ask.
Right.
They find it very interesting of what I do. Because they want to know if all the stereotypes are true. Do I do a ton of drugs? Am I an alcoholic? Like, am I only in it for the money? Am I gay? Am I straight? Those kind of things. It's actually, I like to set an example. So
that's very good.
Well, yeah.
That's very good.
So
that's very bright of you to do.
I think it's important that people know like what it means to be gay, and like one of the biggest questions is like with more conservative people is why are you gay? And my answer is always why would I choose to be ridiculed and criticized all the time? If I could turn it around, I would, but here I am.
Right.
So like I've actually I've turned a lot, like I'm proud of myself for turning a lot of people who were against it into neutral about it, and also turning people who were neutral about it or against it into actual gay, like they realized they were gay themselves. So it's just a lot of like talking and like just like
and by example,
and also I take a lot of harsh criticism. So instead of when someone says the word faggot or gay or like some mean term, instead of like attacking them, I'm actually like I just take it and I'm like, wow, you noticed I'm gay. Like,
and they don't.
Then what? And they don't know what to do. So then we have a conversation. And they realize like I'm a person too.
Right.
So it's actually a
conversation. It's all about conversation.
Yeah, it's actually a positive. Me being a stripper is actually very positive on campus. I feel like I've helped a lot of people like enjoy life, and also a lot of my teachers know as well.
Yeah,
cool.
They think it's really cool. A couple of them want to come see, like, if I ever do a pole dancing show again, they want to come see a pole dancing show. So,
Tim, got that?
Yeah. No,
that's great.
I'm
just taking
you're mesmerized.
I'm impressed.
I just think that's so great because I mean, really leading by example. I mean, Harvey Milk was the one who said everyone should come out of the closet, now, because people will realize, oh my God, I know a lot of gay people. So, but the fact that you're doing you're being an example and you're being so positive about it, it's very.
One thing I found is you just can't be offended by everything. You can't be so defensive. Like, of course they're going to say faggot. They don't understand.
Right.
Or they're like, of course they're going to be attacky. They don't understand. You just have to be like, you just have to take that in and then talk with them. One thing my mom taught me that was really important was that something that always cuts down your enemies is by smiling and saying okay.
Oh, that's true. That's a good one.
So by just doing that, their attack is gone. They don't know what to do with themselves, so they actually engage in conversation.
Yeah.
I think we're all looking at a future stripper turned politician right here.
Yeah.
He's
way too honest to be a politician.
I'll buy that book. But I mean, I'm assuming there's, you're gay, but other dancers, there's straight ones in the mix too, correct?
I'd say the majority of dancers would identify as straight.
Okay.
But again, that starts a whole nother conversation.
Yes. Yeah, well, let's briefly talk a little bit about that and how, obviously, Ethan, you work with them on any given night. And did you ever notice that, the difference that you're working with a straight dancer, or do you notice that maybe clients pick up on that they're straight, or does it matter anymore? I don't know.
I don't think clients so much pick up on the straight. There's clients usually clients don't know, but there are clients who like gay strippers and there are clients who want straight strippers.
Mm-hmm. Right? Oh, okay. That's interesting.
I found that clients want straight strippers because they like the fact that they're like dominating this guy into doing something he's against.
They're crossing the border. They're hopping the fence. So
and then some like gay because they feel like they can relate more.
Right. He's going to need to write a book, I think.
First,
we'll publish it.
At first, I thought I could tell the difference, but it's become a little blurred.
Yeah.
But mostly, it's by their mannerisms and the way they carry themselves.
It's 50 Shades of Gay, as we like to call it.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. There's also some, obviously, that are in between, the bis, or the ones that, and I tend to go for those. Like, there are like you were talking about, the hyper masculinized, probably uber straight, but they're
Tim would probably be able to tell you, like, if you could tell a straight or a gay apart, but I personally, I don't know if you agree, Tim, but the aggressive ones are usually, the ones that just grab you by the hand, I find are usually straight. Do you agree with that statement?
I think that could be. I think that's fair. But I mean, I don't think
it's not 100% accurate. No, because like at first I was like,
people out there
you
listening.
can tell the gay one, or you can tell the straight ones because they have their phone in their underwear or in their sock, and they're aggressive, and they don't have much conversation. And at first, I thought that was true.
I know a lot of gay people like that too.
Here's and again, not at your establishment, but there's a Monday night spot that occasionally I'll go to.
Oh, I worked there. Okay. I worked there once upon a time.
We're not going to.
I know where this is going.
Yes, and what I here's how you can tell in this particular establishment when one of the dancers is straight is if one girl, and she could look like whatever, she's just female, of the female persuasion.
Okay, that's a giveaway. That's a giveaway.
And dancers are huddled around, their heads just make an about face to her, and she could look like anything, but it's just female walked in room, and we'll be, my friend and I'll be standing there like, seriously? And then they all immediately make their way over to her or the group of girls that have walked in, and I mean, really?
Well, that's some.
You have every other day of the week.
Yeah. I'm going to throw a wrench. I'm going to throw a wrench in that theory.
Okay, go ahead.
I think a lot of times those guys end up being the gayest ones.
You think?
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
Because they're so overtly.
Yes. A lot of times they're kind of in the closet, so they have to show. They have to show. Oh, there's a girl here. I've got to chase that pussy.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
But, I've seen the same thing like in Thailand where there are hustler bars where you actually go home with them. Yeah. And a woman walks in, and the straight men flock to her, and the gay men flock to anybody else because they don't want to have to go home with a woman. And it's really funny. It's really funny to watch.
There's really these questions are all polarizing.
Yes.
Like you could really look at it from different angles, and there's really so many different ways to
well, I'm pretty sure they want. Well, you're right. Maybe you are right.
But you get that a lot of times.
Well, and here's where you
have to think if you're a straight guy, right? You're in a gay club in your underwear grinding on gay men, right?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden a woman walks in, and you want to try to prove to the other guys there that you're straight, you really are straight. Yeah. But usually those are guys that they're just not confident. They're not secure in themselves.
Well, and it's your point. Like they're only there a few hours, so it's like really you can't meet up with a girl.
It's ridiculous.
At any other time in the week or
any other time.
Yeah. But you have to. This the one chick that walked in. So maybe you're right.
Yeah. The smart guys go the other way because they know. Like it's customers don't want to see that. And
it is called work.
Yeah, and women aren't going to give you money anyway.
Yeah.
So what's the end game, right? You go there, you made no money, and you're probably still not going to get laid anyway. So
exactly.
What's the point?
Yeah.
There are straight guys that actually walk away from the women because they
smart
know
ones.
that. Exactly how he said.
Ones.
The ones that are out to make that are hustling better because they just know. But you'll actually find a lot of gay guys, that I work with at least, will flock to the women. And it's usually during the time when they start
to share like hair trade.
It's when they start to. It's when they dance. It's actually when they dance. So
I'm going to blow up Ethan's spot here. I've seen you requested by women by bachelor parties for lap dances on more than one occasion.
What do you mean?
Where you gave lap dances to women, where they came in and out of 30, 40 guys and all these rough and tough masculine straight guys, they wanted Ethan for a lap dance, like where the girls,
Yes,
like,
that was when she said that, I was like, "Are you sure?
No, there's
are you sure?
Yeah,
she probably requested me. Did you mean me?
Yeah,
she was into you.
Of course.
I thought that was cool. And then also, like,
I think women are different than men, though, in a lot of ways.
And the thing is
they just like a hot guy.
A hot
is
guy,
a hot
and
guy.
He's
when it comes to
articulate.
that,
You can actually have a conversation.
Right.
They like to dance with the gay men as well. The gay men will go
and he's got eyelashes like Bambi.
The gay men will go and do. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's when you see. I've seen a lot of gay men actually flock to the women because they like say a Beyonce song comes on.
Okay, right.
And they all just start like dancing together, and they'll hype up the gay guy, and the gay guy will hype them up, and they all start like attempting to twerk and
okay.
Again, those lines get blurred a lot of times because you'll get a guy who's gay, identifies as gay, has never been with a woman before, but maybe he gets a lap dance with a girl, and before you know it, they're making out. And I always like to pick their brains. So I'll ask him. I was like, were you guys making out?
That's
like, yeah, I actually really enjoyed it. It was fun. She's like, I don't want to fuck her, but it was cool to make out.
Yeah, women don't bother me at all.
It's like, she was hot. So it's interesting, just in that sexually charged environment.
Yes,
it's not reflective of real life.
The lines are much more fluid these days, which I find refreshing.
Yeah, I do too. That line is blurred, and I would like to see it go away completely.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty cool. I think it's cool.
I identify as gay, but
sure,
I've actually had sex with a woman.
Ew.
Yeah, right. And
what do you call that? He's no longer a gold star gay.
I'm no longer a gold star gay.
He's not a gold star
I didn't
gay.
even know what that was, but
I didn't find that out until I went to a bar and said the fact that I had sex with a woman, and I thought the whole bar had stopped moving.
Everyone stops and turns and goes.
And like all the three drag queens in the bar was like, he's not a gold star.
What's a gold star?
A gold star is a gay man who has never had sex with a woman ever.
I just learned something new.
You get a gold star.
Okay.
Yeah.
A platinum star is a gay man who has never had sex with a woman and was born cesarean section, so he's never touched a vagina ever.
Oh my God. Shoot, I was cesarean, but I had sex.
Well, yeah, so we lost both
Ethan,
your stars.
You must get hit on by women all the time. I'd imagine school. I would take him out as my wingman if I was trying to pick up girls.
Yeah. Oh, he'd be.
Oh, are you kidding? Oh, yeah.
I get hit on by women, but it's women that actually know I'm gay.
And I think that's also a fetish. I've got some girlfriends where that's kind of a fantasy where they want to be the one to kind of turn it out.
Yeah, because I make it. I think I'm pretty obvious as a gay, even if I'm like walking. Just because of usually my style is very gay, and also I was a dancer in high school, like a competitive dancer. So when I walk, I can't help but dance to whatever I'm listening
just comes
to.
right out.
That's stereotypical gay.
What kind of dancing?
I did hip hop and jazz and contemporary.
Oh, okay. I love all that.
Cool. Okay, so you don't walk all turned out like a ballet.
No,
no.
Mine's actually when I walk, it's more of the hip hop's easier.
More of a swing, yeah.
The jazz. Do the jazz hands come out? Because that could be.
Once in a while.
Okay, that could be.
Those girls must have loved you. You were the only guy, right? Dancing with a bunch of different girls. They were probably all trying to throw themselves at him.
They had a drag show, and usually you'll get
in high school.
No.
Oh,
yeah, I know.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
There was a drag show at college, and they have it at this cafe, and there's usually like I'd say at most 40 people who show up. They asked me to come and pole dance for that, and so they had over 140 people show up for the night that I was supposed to pole dance.
So 100 more than they usually get.
All women. I thought it was hilarious.
That's funny.
But no, it was really cool. They actually had to stop letting people in because they couldn't fit any more people in and still let me dance.
All right, Tim,
that's
get him on that
funny.
pole. I'm telling you, that's going to be your. That's a performance.
Ethan gets the man and the bitches.
That was actually a really cool night, but there was no men. It was mostly women.
Wow.
And they tipped, which was great.
That's great. Well, I mean, to a woman, a gay man is no threat. There's no.
That's true.
So too, yeah.
But then, I mean, I can remember going to Fire Island and taking, straight women friends out there. Oh no, it's no problem. It's no problem. I don't, it's great. I don't have to worry about anybody hitting on me. Mm-hmm. Well, by Saturday afternoon, they're like, why is nobody looking at me?
Yeah,
because you're on a gay island.
Nobody's looking at me, and I'm wearing a very small bikini. It's like, yes.
My sister's always the one though that she ends up meeting that one straight guy who's like actually kind of
your sister's another story.
Yeah,
and we love her.
Yeah, that could be.
So,
but I had the opportunity, Tim, to hang out at Adonis. I guess it was like 6 weeks ago.
Okay,
and I was standing next to you, and I took some notes because I found it so fascinating.
Oh God!
And then
the conversations.
Just some of the. I'll read you just some of my notes. There was.
Takes notes.
This is gonna be fun.
Well, there was one when you were talking to the DJ, and you said someone make sure. It was something to do with the DJ, like, don't you announce?
Yeah, we announce the guys on stage.
Who's next? And it was like,
so they'll try to pretend like they don't hear their names, and then have to go threaten them to get them on stage.
Right. And so what you said, Ethan, he is so calm, but he's like the man of the hour, several hours of the night, because millions of different people were coming up to you. The DJ's asking this. Somebody lost their phone, a dancer lost their phone. You're like, yeah, that's normal business. Yeah. Another dancer was coming up and said, hey, Tim, do you mind if I bring this chick in for a dance? You're like, yeah, go ahead. Then somebody was like, it was like over here, over there, too.
It's controlled chaos.
There's a lot. I think, and I was like, wow.
For most people, it would probably be overwhelming, but I've been doing it for so long. It's just kind of, just you there.
My favorite was a guy who came up to you and said, so what do you think of her? And I was like trying to peace what? You're like, yeah, dude, it's okay. I'm just not, be nice to her. But I guess somebody was trying to fix you up with somebody. And you're gently trying to say, yeah, it's okay. I'm kind of like freewheeling or single right now. I don't know what you were saying, but you were gently trying to put him off, and I was like, "Wow, you're getting even those."
She was probably busted. I probably wasn't into it. Yeah.
That's probably
trying to be nice.
You said it in the nicest way ever. The nicest way ever. But
just
it was
tell her no.
Yeah,
kill him with kindness, right?
I was like, "Wow!" Like
it is. There's many moving parts.
Dancers, maybe a dancer weren't showing up, which I'm sure you get your fair share.
Guys are
flakes.
showing up. They're calling. They can't find the bar. I had a kid walk into the wrong bar. He walked into a straight bar. Like anything you could imagine.
Did he start stripping? Like
anything you could imagine. They just.
I'm sure any night.
My favorite is when the customers show up and they start stripping.
Oh, does that happen?
Yeah, every now and again.
By the way, you send great emails that are very thorough.
Thank you.
And so you get them, and if we'll put that up. But you're pretty specific about, like, particularly the naked parties. Like, only the dancers will be naked. You kind of instruct people.
The one thing I've learned with dealing with the public at large is that people are really fucking stupid. Like, unfortunately, people are really fucking stupid, and
even when
there's no nice way to say it. Yeah, I mean, people just ask the most ridiculous questions. But again, I just answer them respectfully and kindly over and over again. But people just ask the wildest shit sometimes.
I bet
it's illogical. But I mean, you really can't do anything.
Is your brother on the West Coast as calm as you are?
He's nicer than I am. I always tell people he's nicer than I am.
Really? You're pretty nice.
He's nicer because New York, you have to be a little bit tougher.
True.
The West Coast, it's more laid back. The guys are different. It's a different grind here.
Yeah.
You have to be able to be tough in New York.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to.
And
especially in a highly sexually charged environment.
Without a doubt.
That's true.
Yeah. You got to be sales.
You're dealing with these bar owners too, so it's like you want to keep your running gig.
Yeah, there's a lot,
on the line.
That's it. I've got, it's like a marriage at each different place. You have the relationship with the bar owner, then you have the relationship with the customers, the dancers. So you have to keep everybody happy.
Yeah,
it's not always easy.
And when showtime comes on, it's showtime.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you make it work.
I just do it.
The show must go on.
The show must go on. Wow. Well, this show needs to wrap up because you guys have a show tonight.
We do. Yeah.
But how can people find you, and tell what cities you're in?
So we're in New York City. We operate 7 nights per week at Clientele Lounge. That's on 500 West 48th Street. And then I also do a Wednesday party at Atlas Social Club.
Right.
And then I do 2 of the private events. So the best way to get all the information for these parties is to be on my email list. I've got a private email list, and that kind of gives you the inside scoop of all the events and all the different porn stars and all the special stuff going on.
That's right, because you always have different.
Yeah, so if you go on the website, if you just Google Adonis Lounge, my website will pop right up, and there's a sign up to where you could just insert your email, and then I get your email, and then you're on the list.
Yeah, and you're really good at like updating that.
I got to do that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm not on the list. I got to.
Yeah, you got to be on the list. That's where all the good stuff happens.
Good. Okay.
Ethan, and you dance so people can find you. What nights? Every week or?
I dance almost every weekend. There are weekends that I just take off for like school or like if I haven't seen my mother in so many months kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
But it's on the weekends, and it's usually I follow Tim, so it's like Fairy Tale or the pop-up parties.
Cool.
Yeah, the nude parties. He's very popular at the nude parties.
I bet.
Ethan, easy on the eyes, remember?
Yes, exactly.
He's blushing again.
We can obviously social media at the Adonis Lounge.
Yeah. It's we're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I mean, it's awesome. It's all out there. There's YouTube channel. There's cool videos out there of all kinds of cool stuff.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you so much, Tim.
This has been fun.
Yeah, thanks, guys. This has really been great.
And Ethan, you picked
Ethan.
the primo dancer.
No, he made me look really good. I have to give a disclaimer.
He really did.
Yeah.
He made you look really good.
Tim is a very respectful person to work for, so it's not very hard. He's actually a very, very nice guy.
That's good. Yes, absolutely. Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you,
check them out, the Adonis Lounge, and thank you, Carpenter, as always.
Thank you. Of course. I mean, this is always fun.
Always fun.
This is always fun. So.
Absolutely. We will see you next time. In the meantime, continue having hot gay sex.
Yes.
And once again, join us tomorrow night for our live broadcast of Talk About Gay Sex at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go to facebook.com/talkaboutgaysex where you can post, ask questions, comments, shout outs, you can also tweet us at Talk About Gay Sex or on our Instagram at Talk About Gay Sex, and we will be sure to get to you. #tags podcast to get further up the list. It's tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. on our Facebook page, Eastern Standard Time, facebook.com/Talk About Gay Sex. And if you are in New York City, join us for the live broadcast at Rebar, 225 West 19th Street between 7th and 8th Avenue. Come for us, come for the cocktails, sponsored by Hedadura and Jack Daniels. See you then.